again, the best is fighting the best, and Crawford dared to be great, and this is one of the ways you do it, and you tell the world, watch. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the first round, that I belong, without showing that I am tough. I earned my position to be here.
What do we just milk? What are we milking this dumb shit for? Think about how much money you could pump into boxing with great matchups.
Crawford right now is on a different planet. And most rematches.
September 13th, 2025. The entire boxing community seemed to freeze as fans in Las Vegas watched in shock, while Terence Crawford, once a lightweight contender, stood triumphant after toppling super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez. The arena dropped into stunned quiet, and commentators struggled to make sense of the moment. Yet among the spectators at ringside, one individual looked completely unfazed, showing no hint of astonishment because he had confidently predicted this exact result months before it eventually occurred on that historic fight night.
Does he win? Can he beat him? Can he beat Canelo? Is his skill so much that he's able to bridge the weight classes?
He has a legitimate chance. Over 60% for his mind. If you say, Bernard, give me a number.
Give me a number.
He has an 85+ chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something, which will fall into Canelo's hand. He would love for him to prove something. That means you will stay there and try to prove something. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the first round, that I belong, without showing that I am tough. I earned my position to be here. And I want to show you, even though you're being stubborn, that your time not only have came, but it's gone. He ain't going to surrender and say, I'll slow it up, so I'm going to act like it. No, he has to be shown. And it has to be early.
Bernard Hopkins, the iconic executioner, didn't merely predict an upset. He essentially outlined the precise manner in which Canelo would come apart. While most observers and analysts concentrated on weight, size, and punching strength, Hopkins was studying something completely different. He identified the stylistic snare being set, and Canelo walked directly into it. Now, as discussions of a potential rematch grow louder, Hopkins has issued another strong warning. And if his earlier forecast means anything, Canelo Alvarez may be heading toward one of the riskiest choices of his entire career to date, undeniably.
Where does Canelo go from here, Henry?
He needs to rematch. If I'm Canelo, I want to rematch Terence Crawford. He got schooled, bro. He got outboxed by Terence Crawford. And I know that he's itching to get that one back. The first time he fought Triple G, and he came back the second time, and he legit beat Triple G.
Once in a lifetime fight. It doesn't need to be a rematch. I think Bud would do worse the next fight. He would put it on Canelo a little worse than that, because that style of fight, I don't think he beats someone like Terence Crawford. But if I'm Terence Crawford, of course I'll fight him again. But this time, I'm the A side. I think Terence Crawford is going to be more confident next time, knowing that I can punch with this guy. I can take his shot. I'm faster.
He fought Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
He didn't do what the last two did, just run. He threw at him. I'm going to call your bluff, bro. I'm going to fight you.
To understand why Hopkins is so convinced Crawford would defeat Canelo again, you have to revisit what he said long before any discussion of a rematch even surfaced, because Hopkins wasn't simply talking strategy. He was warning about a trap Canelo never noticed. Prior to the first fight, Hopkins cautioned that Canelo was preparing for a standard, straightforward matchup, while Crawford was treating it like a layered, tactical puzzle. And although many brushed it off as typical veteran insight, rewatching the fight makes his accuracy almost unbelievable. Hopkins explained that Canelo had spent years relying on strength, forward pressure, and natural physical advantages, gradually pulling away from opponents who excel in pure technical skill. And Crawford revealed that weakness with ruthless clarity.
So last one from me, Canelo Crawford. Obviously, Terence just rocked up there. What do you make of his chances against the man you worked with for many years?
Great chance. He have a great chance because his heart, his talent, and also his game plan and his strategy. But Canelo is no pushover. I've watched Canelo for multiple years. Again, the best is fighting the best. And Crawford dared to be great. And this is one of the ways you do it, and you tell the world, watch, pay attention, and watch me make history. I will be one of those watching amongst millions of other people.
Crawford didn't defeat Canelo by overpowering him. He did it through superior intelligence and anticipation. Hopkins explained that all throughout the bout, Crawford stayed multiple steps ahead, moving into spots that lured Canelo into throwing, only to glide out of danger before the punches could connect. This wasn't running or dodging the fight. It was masterful distance management, the kind of precision rarely seen in today's boxing. Hopkins described it as crafting illusion openings, tricking Canelo into firing heavy shots at a target that only seemed available.
If this fight ends up going down, it's going to be a long, long night for Canelo Alvarez. Terence Bud Crawford has already figured out Canelo Alvarez. He already figured him out, he beat him down, and he learned that he can take his power, and on top of that, Canelo was hurt a couple of times by Bud Crawford. If you're Bud Crawford heading into this fight, you have not a single worry in the world. You know what you're capable of doing. You know that you can go out into that ring and you could put a beating on Canelo Alvarez. And might I even say this? Bud Crawford has a chance of stopping Canelo Alvarez if they do the rematch.
Crawford was never in the spot Canelo believed he was aiming for.
There was some big news in boxing yesterday. Canelo said he wants a rematch with Crawford. What does Canelo have to do in the rematch, B-Hop?
We didn't do last time.
Which is what?
Win.
That's all. Simple as that. Crawford's very talented.
Crawford right now is on a different planet. And most rematches normally wind up the same. Statistically wise, I don't see anything different.
Hopkins emphasized one of the most intriguing elements of the matchup, mental exhaustion. While most conversations revolve around physical endurance, how many miles were run or how many rounds were sparred, he argued that Canelo's real battle wasn't with his conditioning, but with his concentration. For the entire 36 minutes, he found himself pursuing Crawford, trying to land shots that never presented themselves. The continual whiffs, the deceptive openings, drained him mentally far more than any physical wear and tear ever could.
And listen, I mad respect for Canelo, and always will.
You always have been. You've been very
listen, and always will be. But Crawford has an opportunity to continue to keep sticking it to the people that didn't. World champion, whether it was pride of Broward County, Florida, politics over here, politics over there. We get a chance to show what we, or the boxing fans in the world, almost came that close to not seeing that talent as he continued to keep telling everyone that he wanted to fight the best years ago. Go all the way back to top rank, all the way up to here.
Well, he did it.
Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
He got a chance to show.
He got a chance and he proved himself. That's in life, we just want the opportunity.
Hopkins compared the fight to some of his own legendary matchups, including his bouts with Roy Jones Jr., noting that throwing big punches and missing doesn't just irritate a fighter. It drains energy far faster than landing clean shots. By the 8th round, Canelo looked slower, more careful, and visibly unsure. Hopkins argued this had nothing to do with aging. It was the moment Canelo realized he couldn't decode Crawford's approach. And if a rematch happens, Hopkins believes that psychological disadvantage will only intensify.
You know, to Sergio's point, a lot of the people that I'm been talking to when it comes to this fight, they're not like, it's almost like the air was taken out of them. They're not excited about even the idea of a rematch, or the subject doesn't even come up. Usually the conversations are, hey man, is there a rematch clause? Do you think they'll run it back? What do you think will win? Like, people just, even casuals, realize that Crawford, he schooled Canelo, man. He really did. I don't think people want to see this fight. I agree with Sergio Mora.
Be at a smaller arena because people already saw Canelo get dominated by the better fighter, and the better fighter will do it again, even easier and with more confidence.
Yeah. Many people I've discussed a possible rematch with seem almost uninterested, as if the excitement has already faded. Casual conversations usually sound like, is there a rematch clause? Are they going to do it again? Who takes it this time? Even the most casual observers understand that Crawford clearly outclassed Canelo and controlled the entire fight. Some analysts, including Sergio Mora, have even suggested that a rematch belongs in a smaller arena because the result feels predetermined. The superior boxer already demonstrated the gap, and he would likely repeat the performance with even greater authority. And although the payday and Canelo's pride might push for a second showdown, Hopkins cautions that another fight could be an even bigger trap. The first match stripped away Canelo's aura of invulnerability, and now that Crawford has learned how Canelo reacts to feints and movement, a rematch could tilt even further in Crawford's favor, potentially making it more lopsided than the original.
But you hold on. You keep saying this.
Hold up. Canelo, see, this is the thing about Canelo. He sometimes relies on the environment, the hostile crowd, to also help him win this fight. Not only with the judges, but with the opponent. Crawford even handled that. You know, you can't prepare for that magnitude, the roar of the crowd, the lights, everyone booing you. You can't prepare for that. Crawford was ready for that. Even his ring entrance, when he came in with that guitar case, it was, man, that's one of my all-time favorite entrances.
Desperado. Yeah, it's an homage to Desperado. Yeah.
Actually, it was Mariachi. That was part one. Desperado was part two. That right there, it was me against the world. That was his mentality. Me against all these Mexicans. Me against Canelo in Las Vegas. Me against Canelo and the judges that he probably has in his pocket. Me against everyone, and Bud shut everyone up. And you think?
Yeah, but hold on.
Canelo's going to be able to do it the second time around?
I don't know. I don't think it's an open and shut case as you do. Let me ask you.
Okay, who's the best boxer in the world right now?
I'd have to say Crawford.
Canelo said yesterday he's working on the rematch.
Why would he do that?
For money, for fame, to get his shot back. For his pride. He wants his back.
Okay, he can try. Unless he changes his complete style, it's not going to happen.
So you have Crawford in the rematch?
Crawford in the rematch. Corner, when the fighters are even, it goes to the corner. So the best fighter, I think, heavyweight, Michael Hunter. Crawford would be right behind him.
Hopkins notes that Canelo struggles to adjust on the fly when matched against highly skilled, technical opponents, as evidenced in his bouts with Bivol and again with Crawford. He stresses that continuing the same approach while hoping for a different result is unrealistic. Hopkins warns that unless Canelo completely reinvents his style, a feat few fighters achieve in their mid-30s, he risks another decisive loss. Even the size advantage that offered little help in the first fight would likely make no difference in a potential rematch.
Canelo Crawford rematch.
Canelo Crawford rematch. No, thank you. Why? It wasn't a good fight the first time. I told you he was going to get dominated the first time. He got dominated. And there's no reason for a rematch. What are we milking this dumb shit for? Think about how much money you could pump into boxing with great matchups if you took the money from a Canelo Crawford rematch and the money from Jake Paul and AJ, combine it together. You could fund boxing super fights for like 5 years. You could fund, you really could. Think about the matchups you can make with that kind of money. You could just fund all kinds of crazy, great matchups. And the fighters would all fight each other because there'd be enough money. And you wouldn't have to pay anybody $90 million. Think about that. No, instead we're going to make one useless fight, another useless fight. I don't know, man.